Gon' vote. Everybody gon' vote. Everybody gon' vote. Everybody gon' vote. Comrade! Labor right, them a go down, bong. Them a go down, bong. Them a go down. Is that? Margie, him a God picking. No hope their work if you touch Margie. Margie, him a God picking. No hope their work if you touch Margie. We now vote for Labour. Orange we a come out in now. If you love the PNP, who no step out for Marky G. Jamaica just come along with we. People time come, people time come, people time is up.
Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight.
Yeah, I said that we are. Pledge your allegiance.
Who's gonna run this town tonight?
Yeah, I said that we are.
We gon' run this town.
Make the trumpets play. Make the trumpets play.
Tanya Stevens say she will never vote for JLP.
The fact is, me not vote for Labour yet. I'm not. I'm not vote for Labour yet, not because me a PNP, but because me a Jamaican. Everything about me serves Jamaica. First and only. Me not serve no party. I burn out Andrew when Andrew do fuckery. I'm not gonna stop that. When Andrew get out of that seat, Andrew will cease to exist for me because I don't give a fuck about Andrew. Public servants, not public boss. And as far as me concerned, him no leader for me neither, because I not follow him gonna win. What I'm saying is, which part yeah, but it's not in the best interest of Jamaican people, so stop and fucking turn back. That's what I'm saying.
After we allow member Scott Motley to No. She wants to make a comment. And the chair has given her the...
Chair, I was not here yesterday when the issue of the Auditor General's removal from the Integrity Commission was discussed. And I thought it very important to place my views on the record, that I see no conflict of interest, as has been put forward by some persons, that the Auditor General, from the time of the inception of any body which was designed to prevent corruption or detect corruption, the Auditor General has always sat on that body. In all of what I have heard no instance cited in terms of inappropriateness or a conflict of interest. And if there is no overwhelming submission to that effect, then I'm not moved from my position. I hear Member Warmington behind me because although I think he thinks he's being quiet, I can hear him. And my understanding is very clear that the Auditor General does not audit anything to do with the Integrity Commission. The Integrity Commission is audited by independent auditors who carry out that function. And indeed, the terms of reference for any independent auditor is determined by the person making the reference to the independent auditor. So those are the comments which I would like to be on record as stating my own view. Thank you, Chair. Removal from the...
Team, we just want to clean up what might have been outstanding yesterday before we take on the matrix as we have it.
Good morning, Chairman and members and colleagues, members of the committee and colleagues. I received a copy of the formal judgment. There is actually a decision, meaning reasons, but that is not available yet. It has not been finalized by the judge, but I did get a copy of the formal judgment, the orders. I sent a copy to Mr. Nash not long ago, so it can be circulated to the chair and members of the committee. But I'll just read. It was in the matter of the Integrity Commission Act and in the matter of Section 7 of the Integrity Commission Act before Honorable Mr. Justice C. Stamp on the 17th day of February 2024. I'll just read the orders. A, it is declared that Section 7 of the Integrity Commission Act, in particular Section 7.2, in its interpretation, mandates that any person or body must cooperate with the Commission in the exercise of its functions under the said Act or any other enactment. B, it is declared that Section 7 of the Integrity Commission Act, in particular Section 7.8, as interpreted, means that any body or any person or body cooperating with the Commission shall not be prevented from so doing by virtue of any law that provides for secrecy or any other restriction against the disclosure of information, save for on the grounds of legal professional privilege. C, Barita Investments Limited is directed to comply with the Integrity Commission's request made pursuant to Section 7 of the Act in letter dated June 28, 2021. D, the Integrity Commission is permitted to keep confidential the relevant attachments that accompanied the request dated June 28, 2021, made by the Commission. And each party bear its own costs. Those were the orders made by the court.
SG, could you read the first part of the order, son? Because I asked a question yesterday if these were broad and general, and this suggests, therefore, that it is general, if I heard correctly. But
and we had said yesterday that it is general and applies generally in the Act. But it is declared, A, it is declared that Section 7 of the Integrity Commission Act, in particular, Section 7.2, in its interpretation, mandates that any person or body must cooperate with the Commission in the exercise of its functions under the said Act or any other enactment. And then B, further, it is declared that Section 7 of the Integrity Commission Act, in particular Section 7.8, as interpreted, means that any person or body cooperating with the Commission shall not be prevented from so doing by virtue of any law that provides for secrecy or any other restriction against the disclosure of information, save for on the grounds of legal professional privilege. But what's important is C, where the judge ordered Barita Investments Limited is directed to comply with the Integrity Commission's request made pursuant to Section 7. Now, that request, as I understand it, was a very specific request from a specific director in a specific circumstance. And so this is where we get granular now into when we talk about a request from, say, the Director of Information as opposed to, like, the Director of Investigation. And so even though Section 7 is applied generally, it is still done within a context within the Act. So it was one specific director that would have made a request, and it's that the court is now saying that Barita must comply with that very specific request. So I'm saying all of that because yesterday we were discussing whether the orders can be applied just generally, let's say to all persons, or to all entities, or to all financial institutions. And I think the answer is no. The orders will always be very specific to each applicant and to what the request was.
I may seem to be going at this ad nauseum, but if Part A and Part B suggest that, yes, every entity has to cooperate with the Integrity Commission, and based on what we discussed yesterday in terms of who had the ability by law to get certain information, the Director of Investigation vis-a-vis the Director of Information and Compliance. A and B suggests that anyone can get it. So no, anyone can get it. But turn on SG's mic.
I'm saying I agree. Oh, I agree. I agree that anyone can get, or well, not just anyone. There are specified persons that can get it, but for specified purposes. It can't be just carte blanche. So the request that would have been made to the entity, to the financial institution, would have been specific from a particular director in a particular situation. And that's what I'm trying to say, that it's still, in the end, it still ends up being specific, and it's not something that is transferable or can just be widely applied.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I'm making myself clear.
I think I'm of the opinion that the legislation is a bit ambiguous because the SG has a particular interpretation of the legislation, but when you read the legislation in and of itself, it really doesn't give you that interpretation directly. So I agree with your interpretation, but reading it, another person may not have that interpretation of it. It may appear to be general. So it is for us to determine how it is that the legislation should be applied and amend or do what is necessary to make the legislation specific to what it is that we want it to say. I'm of the opinion, especially since we discussed it yesterday in relation to information and investigations, that they're two separate entities having separate functions, being able to do separate things. But reading it, no, I don't get that from Section 7. It's
Temu, shop like a billionaire.
Section 7. It's
So that's the point, and that's why even the court went further. So Section 7 gives a general power, but that power then now has to be
applied specifically.
You undertake that, you apply
But I think
the
Section
power.
7 should speak more to how it should be applied, because as it is now, it doesn't say.
But I don't think it has to, because, okay, so...
And maybe that's why the Integrity Commission is applying it how they are applying it now. Not
so
specific.
You know, I'm going to just say, I'm just going to just explain why I have my interpretation, why I think the court even made these orders, but I'm also going to say something else. I always say a rule of thumb. If persons are discussing something, a provision of an act, a lot, and if we can come to more than one interpretation, it means there is an issue, and it means we should clarify it. So that's always my fallback, and I'll accept that. But even the court then went on, not just to give an interpretation of Section 7, but then it went back to the request. And the request would have come from one of the directors. And that director would have said, in exercising my power under section whatever of the act, I am requesting this information to undertake these functions. So they would have had to explain the request and why they're making the request. And they need that power now they want to be able to exercise their power under their section of the act, but use Section 7. So I understand that it seems a little unwieldy, maybe, or but the point is the general power has to be used in a specific way, and the only way they can use it is using under their powers, under their sections, because they have different sections where they have different powers that they can undertake. So the powers that are given to the Director of Investigations not the same as the powers that are given to the Director of Information. And so I think that is even why the court then would have had to go further to then say, you now must comply with the request, the very specific request, but do it, and the court made the order pursuant to Section 7. But I take your point. If we are discussing it this much, perhaps then it means we should be looking to see if we can provide more clarity. Yeah.
SG, I have a problem with how it's worded. And although I appreciate what you say, that in writing, one ought to specify, and I emphasize ought to specify, this section which empowers the director, I have to ask myself, what if there is a request made by someone who does not have that authority, but it's not questioned by the person who receives it? Because in truth and in fact, the reason why we are having this discourse around a case is because in this instance, the person said, no, I'm not giving you. But the person could have said, fine, here it is. And information which ought not to have been shared with the IC under any circumstances would be able to be received by them. So I think that we need to make it absolutely clear the circumstances under which such a request ought to be made and ought to be granted.
Okay, so yesterday, what we did was to provisionally tick this recommendation from the Permanent Secretary's Board, pending these further and better details that would have been provided, A, by Mr. Simmons, and secondly by the SG, and to be further discussed by members. I'm of the view then that, that this provision will be accepted as recommended. And that the guidance to, well, of course, I can only take it to where we have authority, and that is to recommend to Parliament. And in that context, I just want to make a general point for the public to appreciate that the understandings that this committee arrive at during our deliberation does not constitute a decision by the Parliament or the government, or doesn't guarantee that the action that will flow from recommendations that we make are secure. So we would guide utterances that sometimes suggest that
Oh, no, go on the first promise. On the things that we are putting back in the office. On the things that we are novice. On the better listen to this. Vote them out, cause them not see we when we hungry. Vote them out from Kingston to country. Vote them out, cause when they win them a go dump way. We have to tell them promptly, people, just vote them out, cause them not see we when we hungry. Vote them out from Kingston to country. Vote them out, we have to tell them promptly, cause when they win them a go dump way. Marky G, you know you the people them really want to see a great leader who will talk to we. Put on the boat and go, they go walk to we. Yes, go march to we, because we have some guy with them on a intention, leading the country in the wrong direction. That's why we come to make we own a selection. This we are gonna do when in call the election. Vote them out, cause them not see we when we hungry. Vote them out from Kingston to country. Vote them out, cause when they win them a go dump way. So we are tell them promptly, people, just vote them out, cause them not see we when we hungry. Vote them out from Kingston to country. Vote them out, cause when they win them a go dump way. We have to tell them